Do you fear losing touch with what is truly important? Let's see what Rumi teaches us about the way to really connect it with what is important, even when chaos is surrounding us. This is the 6th episode of King and Maiden story by Rumi. I first read 4 verses in poetic English that I created, then I interpret them with the plain English, and then I will read them in Persian, the original language of Rumi, so you hear the beautiful poetic expression of Rumi in his original language. And in the end, a nice addition is that I also created a guided meditation to drive this beautiful teaching of Rumi from this episode to our subconscious. The link for the guided meditation will be available 24 hours after publishing this video, and it can be found in the description below. And so let's begin. In verse 70, Rumi says, "In human mind so prone to stray, belief in soul drifts far away. With visions wrought from their own scheme, they govern realm in a fleeting dream." So it's saying that people sometimes forget that they have a conscious dimension, they have a divine dimension. Sometimes they forget it because they rely too much on what they can see and observe. And that gives them a hallucination that whatever they have, whatever is there, is what they see, not how they feel. So imagine what happens if we want to only believe in what we can see and experiment. So imagine somebody with a severe mental disorder or depression. We can do a brain scan for them and look at the impact of the mental disease or, for example, depression on their brain. We will be able to observe some changes, but would we be able to see all the impact that this mental condition had on the person? The impact that the thoughts and the feeling had on them? Can we measure the impact of those thinking into people's consciousness? And that's the problem when we feel that the world has one dimension and that's the dimension that we see. Of course not. And what happens if we think that everything is observable by our eyes? People who have mental disorder maybe goes to the doctor and they will just give them pills in order to change their brain chemistry. And if they do that, do you think that the mental disorder or mental condition will go away permanently or not? No, because they are not looking at other dimensions of human beings. We have emotional dimensions, we have spiritual dimensions, and we have those needs, so that when we are treating somebody, if we are not looking at it holistically, we will not really get to the results that we want. Let me give you another example of when we are not looking at every dimension of something in our lives. Look at the mobile phone. So you go and purchase a mobile phone, and your decision to buy that can be based on the resolution, the price, the speed of your phone. But there are other dimensions, there are other important things also. Would you consider the environmental impact of buying phones after phones? Would you know whether these phones were built in an ethical condition? Did the people who made this phone earn enough income? When we focus only on the things that we can see and we forget the ethical and other side of things, we are not really helping the world, and we are not also helping ourselves. So when Rumi in this verse says that sometimes people don't see other dimensions, they don't see the spiritual dimensions for things, and they run their words with imagining things that are not real. And their word is run by an illusion that everything that they see is whatever it is. Then people go through stress and depression. How? Imagine if we think that there is no more dimension, there are no spiritual dimension to us beings. So what is important is what we have and what we think we are as compared to others. If we have more as compared to others, we are better than them. And if we have a lot, we have so much money that would overwhelm us and we would never need to work again, that would be a perfect world. And we have seen people who have limitless money, what happens to them? Some of them go through depression, they do suicide, etc. So if we go through the life imagining that all these materialistic things, everything that we can see is what matters, if we think that there is no deeper dimension to things, we go through stress and anxiety. Please leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know whether you think there is a deeper dimension, there is a conscious dimension also to our beings. Let's create a community so people can get connected and help each other to find these answers. In the next verse, Rumi says, "From the depth of ego, wars ignite, and the peace may bloom or take a flight. In pride and scheme, though weighed in guise, it's but their fancy that underlies." So he says that people's war and peace and proudness and shamefulness is all driven by imagination, by hallucination. And let's find examples of that in our real world. Look at when North Korean leader meets with the US leader. Do you think that they meet each other in order to help their own country? Or do you think their behavior toward each other is ego-based and is based on their personal pride, so that they don't seem weak in front of their opponent and they seem strong for their own people, right? The other example is Brexit. We had European Union on one side and UK on the other side. Each side had a deep belief of superiority and national pride, imagining that because they are from a certain country, they are stronger, they are better. And what happened as a result of that? That kind of ego-based interaction have resulted in a lot of economic suffering for both sides. Look at the Israel-Palestine conflict. A historical belief for thinking that they have a right to a land has resulted in so much suffering in this area. And this is all just beliefs. Look at the Indian-Pakistan conflict. Both leaders, when they meet, what's important for them is to come across very strong for their own nation. And they carry a lot of national pride, right? All imagination, things in the head, ego. And when they meet, they are not going to look for a solution for both citizens of the country to have more wealth and more happiness and more joy. No, it's for them to stay strong in their politics in their own country and stimulate the national pride. That causes a lot of problem when they have conflict about the ownership of Kashmir. So you can see when Rumi says that all the peace and war are run by imagination, these are the things that he's talking about. How relevant is it to our current life situation? Country's pride, proudness, and shamefulness is all based on imagination and hallucination. It's all based on ego, and it's all unreal. Let's look at a smaller scale. Look at social media. People get very proud on social media when they go to a great holiday, they show a picture, yes, I have so much fun, and if a lot of their friends like it, share it, and whatever, they think, oh, they feel so proud. They feel so proud. And if they post something amazing and nobody likes it, they feel a bit ashamed. They feel like, why? Why my friends don't like me anymore? If we let our imagination take over, we will create a lot of wars and also a lot of stress for the things that are not important. Please leave a comment in the comment section below and tell us whether any time proud or shame has shaped your decision in the past, and what was the consequences of that. It could be your experience or somebody else's experiences too. In the verse 72, Rumi says, "Yet these enlightened souls hold dear a vision clear, both pure and sheer. Their thought, a canvas, broad and fine, the divine's garden gracefully entwined." So Rumi says, however, the imagination of enlightened individual is the beautiful divine presence in enlightened individual and the beautiful divine itself. In this beautiful verse, Rumi says that we all have potential to forget about all this negative imagination, ego, and focus on the divine presence in us and focus on the divine itself and people who were enlightened when they found the divine in themselves and cleared ego. So it's actually possible for all of us to transcend from ego and focus on the light within us and within the universe. It also shows that human imagination is capable of transcending from ego. So we can use our imagination to create war, peace, stress, and anxiety, but also we can use our imagination to transcend from ego if we focus on the divine presence within us and the divine itself and the divine presence in the enlightened individuals. And what happens if we do that? We would have an enormous personal well-being, because our focus is not on what drains energy from us, it will be on ourselves. We will be able to be in the moment and enjoy the moment. It also helps us to be more self-aware. If our focus is on us, on our body, on our essence, and on the divine, when a negative thought that is unhelpful, we are aware of it and we are more able to let it go. It also increases the sense of connection. Connection for a human being is very important, and it can be extremely psychologically healthy to feel connected. Through this kind of imagination and practices, we will be able to feel connected to our essence, to the divine and universe, and also to other human beings that in essence are the same as us, and it's extremely healthy. Therefore, this gives us a very positive outlook in life. Please leave a comment in the comment section below and tell us when you felt connected to something deeper, either connected to the universe, to the divine, to your friends, or somebody else. In verse 73, Rumi says, the face that the king's dream did dwell upon his waking gaze, it cast its spell. In his guest visage, the dream was shown, where once a king, now a truth is known. So whatever the king saw in the dream, saw in the face of his new guest. This is about when a dream become true in the real life. So the dream become tangible. And the verse is about our connection to our subconscious and making what is subconscious actually come true to our conscious, to our real life. That shows the important power of the dream in us. And let's see how can we practice cultivating our dreams. One of the things that I suggest you do is that have a pen and a paper next to you in the bed, and when you dream about something, just write that down immediately before you forget. And as you get a journey of your dreams, you will be able to see the subconscious pattern that goes through your mind and see the connection that it has to your conscious life. Have you had a dream that really impacted you? Please write it in the comment below and say how your dream impacted you. Now I will read these 4 beautiful verses in Persian, the original language of Rumi. Rumi says, نیست وش باشد خیال اندر روان، تو جهانی بر خیالی بین روان، بر خیالی صلحشان و جنگشان، و از خیالی فخرشان و ننگشان. آن خیالاتی که دام اولیاست، عکس مهرویان بستان خداست. آن خیالی که شه اندر خواب دید، در رخ مهمان همی آمد پدید. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you get notified, so you don't miss the future episode of King and Maiden story by Rumi. And wait for my next video, which will be uploaded after this video, and it will be on a guided meditation to make all this teaching from Rumi go deep down to our subconscious. Thanks very much, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.